got jokes, huh? All right, injury report will be out after practice. Have to have a good day today. Yesterday was good. Whole week's been good. Big time game. Got to play well to have a chance to win. What do we got?
What do you want to see as Darius's next step this week?
Just learn from the last opportunity he had.
What does that look like?
Just continue to play better. You know what I mean? As he's got one game under his belt, so he's got a lot to learn from. He had a good week, and is kind of his role. We'll see if we can expand it a little bit, and he'll play well.
Do you expect him to still be somewhat limited on his snap perspective?
You mentioned the importance of tackling Kenneth Walker, and how do you think the defense did 2 weeks ago, and what goes into that?
Yeah, I think he's a tough guy to bring down, so that's obviously an emphasis all the time. But with a back like this, he breaks a lot of tackles. I think also what's important is your track and your angles, because he breaks down angles pretty well. So we got to do a good job of keeping a cup on the ball, having more than one hat on the ball, and wrapping up and getting him on the ground.
You talk about the process is fresh every week, and yeah, you played him a couple weeks ago, but you guys started from scratch. I'm curious, like, for instance, for example, I know the offensive line was wishing they had played better in Seattle the first time. Does that mental part of that play into it? Like, hey, we want to get this back a little bit against these guys, or do you prefer that they completely wipe that out of their minds going into this thing?
Well, we learned a lot from the game when we played them, but they know they got to reset themselves and attack this opponent just like we would any other opponent. So all three phases got to play well to have a chance to win the game. All units have to play well. All position groups have to play well. So they'll be ready to go.
A lot of the guys were talking about the importance of this game, and it's refreshing to hear a little bit of the guys recognizing just the value of what a win would do here for the team. Has that been a consistent message throughout the week of just reminding them the importance of what a win would do or what a loss would do?
The importance of every game is critical, and wins and losses is critical. So, yeah, that's refreshing. They should understand the importance of winning.
Elijah Jones talked about how Garrett was somebody that he leaned on while he was coming back from his injury. How have you noticed Garrett maybe take that next step as a leader, and just how noticeable?
He's got leadership traits. There's no doubt. It stems from him doing everything right, being a pro in only his second year. He's a guy that you can look to, that his process is detailed and it's efficient and it's consistent. He stays disciplined to it. So I'm sure it's good for those guys, those younger guys in the room, to see how he goes about his business, especially the player that he is. So there's a reason why he's a really good player.
When you're seeing a young guy like that come in, what's the difference between a guy who they have a really good process for themselves and a guy who has what you're calling leadership traits, where that process is going to be something they kind of pass on to others?
Important. You know what I mean? I think, the accountability piece of a team really, it starts with the coaches, but it really takes off or takes a nosedive by what you have in the locker room. So really comfortable and really appreciative of those guys in the locker room because they do a good job of it.
The stats said the Cardinals defense had a season-high pressure rate in Minnesota. Where does the improvement come from? And has it been consistent over the last part of the season?
I'd say alignment, assignment, key technique, winning some one-on-ones, doing what you're coached to do, and, playing the right way with high motor, high violence. They understand the importance of affecting the quarterback, so they're doing a good job of it right now.
LJ Collier's had a few sacks the last 4 games. How have you seen him kind of come on?
Just what I just said with Paul, honestly. It's just consistency of doing what he's coached to do. He's got it in him, you know what I mean? And it's how consistent can he be with, just what I just said, alignment, assignment, key technique. He's a playmaker, man, and he can affect the game in the run and pass. He's a good player.
You guys talk a lot about the week-to-week monitoring. You do a really good job focusing on that. But have you noticed maybe a different energy or pep in everybody's step this week?
No, they're a little pissed off this week, coming from round, what would that be, 12, you know what I mean? And that's been a typical response. But, after a win or a loss, our energy's normally pretty good. It was highly competitive yesterday. It'll be highly competitive today. They know they're going to play how they practice. So when we're on the grass, it's all business.
A lot of the players are participating in the My Cleats program, and I know that Josh and Jared from Player Engagement have been a big part of helping put it together. How much interaction do you have with those guys, and how important do you think they are for the players on and off the field?
Huge. They're running the resources that help develop our guys, those two guys, everyone's role, it goes back to everyone's role is a little bit different, but each role is critically important to the players, and that's a huge piece. And I'm really proud of our guys. When they step outside of the gates, I don't worry about them, and I know they're going to impact the community in a positive way. And they know they have a voice, right, wrong, indifferent. They have a voice because of what they do and who they are, and they use that in a positive way, which is cool to see in the world today. So I'm proud of those guys that they do that, and I've been checking them out because they've been breaking them in. There's some cool causes out there. There really is, and it keeps things in perspective when sometimes it's easy to not keep things in perspective, with what we do, but it really does, and I'm proud of them.
Do you have much interaction with Josh and Jared, or just a little here and there?
It's every day, Howard. Every day.
Speaking of giving back, just thoughts on Trey getting the Walter Payton.
Awesome. Yeah, awesome. He does so much, and it's like, for multiple different avenues outside the building, you know what I mean? And, the guy's heart is right, you know what I mean? And he has a really good heart, and it's important to him. And he really goes out of his way, and he makes sacrifices to do a lot of that, which I think that's one of the reasons he got the award, because you just don't get that award with kind of stumbling by. You go above and beyond, and he does.
Have you talked to them over the course of your tenure here, the players, about the weight that their voice does carry because of what they do?
Yeah.
What's your message?
Yeah, we educate our guys just that. They impact people, whether they like it or not, right, wrong, indifferent. They can provide influence to people outside of the gates, and I expect them to provide positive influence.
Trey had breakout, year last year. Where is he better this year, maybe even in the last couple of games? Has he elevated his game?
Yeah, you guys watch the tape. He's a playmaker, but I think where he's probably, I've talked about his skill set and what he does. I think where he really has elevated his game is route detail. Just certain routes, I think that he's gotten a lot better at running. Quarterback, there's no indecision with the quarterback, how he's going to come out of things, when he's going to give him his eyes, and that takes time. It takes time. And as good as he was last year, we sat down, hey, how do you become a better player? That was one of the top things, you know what I mean? Just route detail, which when I talk about detail, guys, it's like, fourth outside step, like instead of fifth outside step, like it's minute, you know what I mean? But when you do those little things correctly, consistently, you should become a better player if we identified it right. And he took it to heart. Ben's done a really good job with him, and he's doing better.
On the shoes again, several of the coaches are doing that again. Have you talked to them about it?
Yeah, I saw all the markups of them. They're sweet. Yeah, our coaches do a good job too. I don't want that to go overlooked, but I expect those guys to do the same as the players. But they got some cool kicks.
Oh,
thank you.
Okay, thank you guys. Have a good one.